The morning sun cast long shadows across the marble floors of Whitmore Elementary School as Marcus Williams pushed his cleaning cart down the empty hallway. At 34, he had learned to find dignity in honest work, even when that work meant scrubbing floors and emptying trash cans while other parents were dropping their children off at the front entrance. Marcus had been the night janitor at Whitmore for 3 years now. The job paid enough to keep a small apartment for himself and his 8-year-old son, Tommy, and the evening hours meant he could walk Tommy to school each morning before starting his own workday. It wasn't the life he had planned, but it was the life he had built after his wife Sarah passed away from cancer 2 years ago. The school was quiet at 6 in the morning, filled only with the soft sounds of Marcus's footsteps and the gentle hum of the heating system. He preferred these peaceful hours before the building came alive with the voices and energy of hundreds of children. It gave him time to think, to remember, and to prepare for another day of being both mother and father to Tommy. As Marcus rounded the corner near the library, he noticed something unusual. A small figure sat curled up in the reading nook, almost hidden behind the colorful beanbags. It was a little girl, perhaps 7 or 8 years old, with dark hair pulled back in a neat ponytail. She wore an expensive-looking school uniform, but something about her posture suggested sadness. "Hey there, sweetheart," Marcus said gently, setting down his cleaning supplies. "School doesn't start for another 2 hours. Are you okay?" The girl looked up at him with large, dark eyes but didn't speak. She clutched a small book against her chest and seemed to shrink further into the corner. Marcus had learned patience from raising Tommy, especially during those difficult months after Sarah's death when his son had struggled to express his grief. He recognized the look of a child carrying too much weight on small shoulders. "I'm Marcus," he said, sitting down on the floor a comfortable distance away. "I take care of this school at night, making sure everything is clean and safe for all the students." He gestured toward his cart. "I was just about to dust the bookshelves. Would you like to help me?" Sometimes work goes faster with a friend. The girl watched him carefully but remained silent. Marcus began his work, moving slowly and deliberately, occasionally commenting on the books he encountered. "Oh, this is a good one," he said, holding up a picture book. "Tommy, that's my son. He loves this story about the brave little mouse. Do you like stories about animals?" The girl nodded slightly, her first response. Marcus smiled encouragingly. "My son is about your age. He's in Mrs. Patterson's 3rd grade class here. Sometimes he gets scared about things, and we found out that talking about stories helps him feel better, even when words feel hard to find." Over the following weeks, Marcus began arriving at the library area first during his morning routine. The girl, whom he learned from her backpack was named Lily Chen, was there most mornings, always with a different book, always silent. Marcus developed a gentle routine. He would greet Lily warmly, tell her about a book he had noticed, or share a simple story about Tommy's latest adventure. Lily would listen intently, sometimes nodding or shaking her head in response to his questions, but never speaking. Marcus learned to read her subtle communications. A slight smile meant she liked a story. Fidgeting with her book meant she was anxious about something. The way she held herself told him whether she'd had a good day or a difficult one. "You know, Lily," Marcus said one morning as he organized the picture books, "Tommy used to have trouble talking after his mom went to heaven. The words felt too big, or too scary, or maybe they just didn't want to come out. But we discovered that sometimes the most important things don't need big words. Sometimes a whisper is braver than a shout." Lily looked up at him with interest, her book forgotten in her lap. "Would you like to hear about the day Tommy said his first word after months of being quiet?" Marcus asked. Lily nodded eagerly. "It was raining, and we were making pancakes together. Tommy was mixing the batter, and he was concentrating so hard, with his tongue sticking out a little bit." Marcus demonstrated, making Lily giggle silently. "And then, out of nowhere, he whispered Mom would have liked these pancakes. Just like that. Quiet as a mouse, but loud enough to fill our whole kitchen with love." Marcus continued his story, describing how that single whisper had opened the door for Tommy to begin expressing his feelings again. As he spoke, he noticed Lily leaning forward, completely absorbed. "The thing about whispers," Marcus said softly, "is that they're just for the people who matter most. They're not for everyone to hear. They're special, like secrets between friends." What Marcus didn't know was that every morning for the past 3 weeks, Dr. Victoria Chen had been watching from the administrative office window. As the head of pediatric surgery at the city's largest hospital, Victoria was accustomed to solving problems, making quick decisions, and maintaining control. But her daughter's selective mutism had challenged every skill she possessed. Lily had stopped speaking 6 months ago, after Victoria's messy divorce from Lily's father. Despite consultations with the best child psychologists and therapists money could buy, Lily remained locked in her silence. Victoria had tried everything: patience, encouragement, even gentle pressure. Nothing had worked. But now, watching through the window, Victoria saw something she hadn't seen in months. Lily was engaged, responsive, and most remarkably, she seemed comfortable. The janitor, Marcus, she had learned his name from asking the principal, spoke to her daughter with a natural understanding that all of Victoria's medical training had failed to provide. On a Thursday morning in late October, Victoria decided to position herself closer to the library area. She needed to understand what this man was doing that professional therapists had not been able to accomplish. Marcus was telling Lily about a book he had found about a little girl who could talk to flowers. "The interesting thing about this girl," he was saying, "is that she discovered her voice by practicing with the flowers first. They were good listeners, and they never judged her for being quiet." Lily reached for the book, examining the cover carefully. "Sometimes," Marcus continued, "we find our voices in the safest places, with the people who make us feel most understood. There's no rush, and there's no pressure. Words come when they're ready." Victoria watched as Lily opened the book and began looking through the pages. Marcus continued his cleaning work nearby, providing a comfortable presence without demanding attention. Then, so quietly that Victoria almost missed it, came the sound she had been hoping to hear for 6 months. "Mr. Marcus," Lily whispered, barely audible. "Do you think the flowers really listened to her?" Victoria's hand flew to her mouth, tears streaming down her cheeks as she watched Marcus stop his work and turn to Lily with the most gentle smile. "I think," Marcus whispered back, "that when someone speaks from their heart, there's always someone listening. And I think you have a beautiful voice, Lily." From her hiding place, Victoria watched as her daughter smiled, really smiled for the first time since the divorce. The sight of Lily's happiness, combined with the profound kindness of this man who owed them nothing, broke something open in Victoria's chest. She had spent months trying to fix her daughter with expertise and resources, but it was this humble janitor who had understood what Lily needed most: patience, acceptance, and the simple recognition of her worth without any conditions attached. That afternoon, Victoria waited by the school entrance as parents picked up their children. When she saw Marcus walking with a boy who looked remarkably like him, she approached nervously. "Mr. Williams?" she said. "I'm Dr. Victoria Chen, Lily's mother. I was wondering if we could talk." Marcus looked surprised but nodded politely. "Of course. Is everything okay with Lily?" "More than okay," Victoria said, her voice thick with emotion. "I wanted to thank you. This morning, Lily spoke for the first time in 6 months. She told me about the flower book, and about her friend Mr. Marcus who tells the best stories." Marcus's face lit up with genuine joy. "She's a special little girl, very brave, very kind." "I've been watching," Victoria admitted. "I know that might seem strange, but I needed to understand how you reached her when I couldn't. I'm a surgeon, I'm used to fixing things, but I couldn't fix this." Marcus was quiet for a moment, Tommy playing nearby with some leaves. "Dr. Chen, I think maybe it wasn't about fixing anything. Lily was never broken. She was just waiting for the right moment to share her voice again. Sometimes kids need to feel completely safe before they can be vulnerable." Victoria nodded, understanding for the first time that her daughter's silence hadn't been a problem to solve, but a response to honor and work with gently. Would you? Victoria hesitated. Would you and your son like to join us for dinner this weekend? Lily has been asking if she could meet Tommy, and I'd like to properly thank you for giving my daughter back her voice. Marcus smiled, the same warm expression that had first encouraged Lily to trust him. We'd like that very much. As they parted ways, Victoria realized that sometimes the most powerful healing comes not from expertise or resources, but from simple human kindness offered without expectation. Marcus had given Lily more than her voice back. He had shown both mother and daughter that they were worthy of patient, unconditional care. That evening, as Lily chatted excitedly about her new friend and the stories he told, Victoria understood that their family had been touched by something rare and precious, a man who had chosen to see the light in a silent child and had the wisdom to nurture it until it could shine again.